Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. A real pleasure to be with you here in Cannes. Huge congratulations on your movie. For people that haven't seen No One Will Ever Know, what can they expect when they go in?
I think they can expect some a joyful experience. It's a movie about movie. It's a film about characters that making a film for themselves and being a victim of it in a way. So yeah, it's joyful, I would say. I don't know.
And coming off the back of the success you had with your first film, what gave you the idea for this one? And I believe it was more about this idea of like playing the lottery, winning the lottery, more than it was perhaps the genre of it being this kind of time-twisting thriller.
Yes, it is exactly. I think when you play the lottery, when you dream of winning, you know what happened there. It's exactly like it's a fiction. You know, you pay for that. I think you pay for imagining the lives you could have, and this lottery as a fictional machine. That's what interests me, and I try to find a form in the film to express this idea, the power of the ticket as a fictional machine, as something like the danger of the ticket in a way, you know, that how powerful it is to get you far from the reality. I try to make a film that make you feel that.
What's interesting is I think at the beginning of the film, you sort of feel like you're in quite a realistic sort of setting. And then as it wears on, you sort of feel like you are in a sort of slightly more surreal place and, you know, kind of trapped in this bar with these characters. You don't really know what time of day it is. And then also because of the sort of narrative folding in and backward on itself, almost becomes maybe more like a play. So how did the setting itself kind of feed into your storytelling?
Well, it's always the same, you know, always the same thing. You have an idea and you try to find a form, like a cinematic form, to express that idea. And the idea was quite simple in a way. The structure, the narrative structure of the film is quite complex, but the idea is very simple. I mean, it's how they have to find our characters. They have to find a script, a story, a way to explain what happened to get the money in a way, and so they try to figure out alternative scenarios of the reality, and progressively they get contaminated with this fiction, you know, and the film itself is getting contaminating, like if the fiction was degrading itself, you know. So it's a trap. It's a mental trap, and the bar is this trap, you know.
And what I love about all the different characters is I feel like as we sort of go through different iterations of the story, your empathy and sympathy sort of shift.
Yeah.
So you sort of feel like, oh, okay, we're supposed to be on the side of this character and not on the side of the other. And then suddenly something shifts. And then you think, actually, no, hang on. No, I'm on the side of this other character, or I can't trust this one, or this one's actually not being as honest as we thought. So was that also something really interesting to play with? Kind of having these different archetypes?
Well, I think that like the initial situation is an ethical problem. I mean, there is this body, this dead body. They have to call for help. They have to, you know, do something human. But in the same time, there is this ticket and this incredible opportunity. And so we as an audience, we judge those characters. We say, don't play with the ticket. I mean, call for help, do something for this man, even if he's dead, but you have to do something. I think it's very human to just ask yourself the question. I mean, I don't judge my character at this point. I mean, they just take few minutes to think about the situation and maybe try to. So I think this is this dilemma, this ethical dilemma that makes them always change. I mean, their evolution is very. There's a lot of turns and hesitation, because sometimes they think the story is believable, and sometimes they think it's not believable at all. And we have to finish this film. You know, we have to open the door and finish the film. But the film goes on because, you know, they want fiction, and we we want fiction in a way. So I try to play on those levels.
And it's very much an ensemble cast, even though the focus sort of meanders, you know, through you're following one person, but then quickly, then it sort of tag teams onto somebody else. So you really had to get your casting right. How do you decide who's going to be in your film? I think Joseph you'd worked with before. Lucy, I remember seeing in Paris 13th District. How do you decide who you're going to have in there?
It's kind of a, you know, it's kind of a mystery. I mean, casting is about encounters. And also, yes, I always have the desire to work again with people that I love to, and you have to this desire has to match with the roles, you know, like roles that are okay for those people you want to work again with, and then you have ideas and you meet people, and of course. The actress or the actors have to match with the character, but more important, you have to feel something on a human point of you know, we have to feel that we want to work together. We have to feel this alchemy. For me, that's the most important thing. So then, as I choose everyone, I'm the common denominator of it. So I think it works after that as an ensemble. I mean, it works as a band, as a I don't know, like a group of people that enjoy working together. And at the first, how you call it, the reading, you know, when the first time we are all together, we laughed a lot. And I mean, there are some like burlesque moments or comedy moments, but the film is also very dark, you know. But we laughed a lot more than I thought, and I took this as a very good sign, actually. You know, that was I felt very good for this shooting, and it went well. It was hard, you know, because huis clos, that's technically quite challenging. So passionnant.
In fact, actually, I was going to ask next about the tone and this kind of like comic kind of undercurrent that runs through all of it. And actually, when in the screening I was watching it, people really were laughing at certain moments, but it's almost, you know, kind of an unexpected laugh because it'll quickly go from something that feels quite dark and sinister to suddenly being quite kind of funny. So is that, yeah, maybe something that almost came out when you were there with all the actors, you know, and why was that quite important to have there too?
It's so important. I believe that a film is a physical experience, and a laugh is a huge physical expression. So, but I can't go to look after the laughing. That's not the way, you know. That's not the way I want to work. But it's a way to get into the feeling of the film. I mean, if you start laughing at some point, it means that you know that this is a fiction. You know that there is someone there behind the screen that gives you something. And, you know, it's like a giving, take kind of thing, the laugh. I mean, that's quite deep and complex for me, the relationship with laughing and not laughing. I think this film, for instance, I'm pretty sure about that. You won't have the same laugh at the same time. I'm sure that a lot of screenings won't have any laugh at all because, you know, just it depends of the audiences, it depends of the alchemy. And this alchemy, it means how deep the audience, each spectator goes into the film. As films had like a thickness somewhere. To me, that's crazy ideas. I don't figure it out, but I found it fascinating.
And these bits in Versailles that kind of bookend the film. I love that opening bit with Joseph and this speech that he gives, you know, about the sort of layers of society. How much did you want to that sort of like speak to some of the themes you want to explore and how we are still such a class-obsessed society and we do have this kind of desire for wealth that I think when we all think that we have these, you know, really strong values and that we would never do anything bad or wrong, but actually how quickly we can be turned, you know, with the prospect of becoming wealthy or inching our way up that ladder. So how important were those scenes and how did you that want to feed into the takeaways from the movie?
Well, as you said, I think it was very much important for me for a film that tells about the lottery to start with the ladder, this idea. Because the lottery, what it is, I mean, it's like the myth of the redistribution of the cards. You know, it's this belief that it's possible. The lottery exists. They're winners. We show them. We tell stories about the winners of the lottery all the time, and it's a way to say it's okay. It's okay, even if you're quite down in the on the ladder. It's okay because you can go up or something. And of course, this is totally a pure fiction. We know it is, but in the same time, it exists. So and so for me, it was important to start with this ladder or pyramidal thing, and the name of the bar. It's the of Versailles. The figure of the king. It's very important because the lottery is always this idea of being the king or taking the bed of the king, as in the beginning of the film. So once again, it's a scene. It's images. It's something that it embodies a concept, an idea.
And what do you ultimately want people's takeaway to be when they leave the cinema? What do you want them to be thinking about or questioning, perhaps?
Themselves, and the stories they're telling about themselves. The stories they're telling about them, about how they see themselves, and how far from being here and now we are all the time. How attracted to fiction we are.
And what does it mean to you to have the film here in the official selection in Cannes?
Well, that's great. That's and this special midnight screening was awesome for this film. To be here, I mean, in Cannes, this is the perfect. This was actually the perfect place and the perfect audience. This theater. I mean, it's a child dream to show one of my film in that theater, but also for this film, this time during the night, and this special audience of midnight session, this pure passion for cinema, and the will of living a great screening. You can feel that at this special session, So it was awesome.
And in terms of where this fits within your career, having such an incredible reception to Mysterious Beats must have felt amazing, like a César Award, et cetera. How did that almost maybe give you a bit of a launch pad to sort of, make this film? I don't know whether that's funding or the people you can cast or, even some of the lessons learned from that experience that helped you with this film.
Yeah, it definitely helped. The reception of the first one, and it works like this. I mean, the reception of the film, the previous film, helps you to do the other one, and this one will help me to do the third one, etc., etc. Yeah, of course.
And do you already have your third film percolating somewhere to climate change?
Exactly. Yeah. That's because my two first films, I think, were about very much about ideas and lies and fiction, and now I want to work on. Landscape, present time, exteriors, and that's my angle. Reality is my angle to tell something about climate change.
Thank you so much for sharing
Thank you.
with me.
Thank you.
Huge congrats on this movie. Really enjoy your rest of the time here in Cannes. Thanks.
Thank you very much.